Hello everybody and welcome to VEG TV. I'm your host, Jay Silverhills. Today we're going to work on this Hands-G computer monitor. Complaint about it is I believe it has bad capacitors. Turn it on and it flickers a little bit, and that's it. Before we get into the video repair, you're probably wondering what's going on with what you're seeing on your screen. Why does it look like I'm filming in SD? Well, it's because I am filming in SD. Today's video is being recorded exclusively on a Panasonic VHS video camera. I will put the model number and the year that it's from on your screen. Let's go ahead and move forward and see what's happening. This monitor has been working just fine. Sat on the shelf for a little bit, pulled it off, plugged it into a computer. It worked for about a week, and then I have this little computer that you see here on my workbench that may or may not be a subject for another video, and that's when the monitor started to exhibit problems. I plug the computer into another monitor and it works just fine. I'm going to turn the monitor on and turn on this little computer. Well, even before I turn on the computer, if I try to just simply do the information on the monitor, the menus or anything, nothing populates. And as you see, the computer does flicker, flash, without even the computer turned on. I'm going to turn the computer on now. You saw the little flash there. And you just saw the logo for the computer populate. And as you see, nothing, and occasionally you will get a little blip right up here of what's coming from this computer. I have 4 screws right here that I need to remove, and I believe it's all going to have to deal with the base. And these are just standard P2 Phillips head screws. There are no other screws on the case to remove. So next thing is we need to peel it apart like a banana. And we've got some little pry holes right up in here. I have a screw right here that you can see. That's stopping that from separating. Next, we need to tear this shielding off. We'll have to remove these screws here and then remove these screws here. And the tape. We have a connector right here we need to remove. And then we have two more connectors on the other side. These connectors here are for the backlighting. And now this should just pop right out of there. Oops. Right after I remove this tape that I apparently did not see. In case you're wondering what the aluminum tape is for, it's for a couple of things. It's for shielding, grounding, and heat dissipation. And there we go. There's the guts. Let me move this out of the way and then we'll finish tearing this apart. Now the next thing we need to do is remove all these screws, and we're going to tear the main board out where the power supply is. There may be a connection over here, and well, I know there's going to be a connection. I'm hoping that I don't have to remove this. If not, it's no big deal. So we have a couple of screws right here on the power supply jack. And then we'll remove 6 screws on this board. And let's see if this will now pop up out of here. And that's a negative. Okay, I believe I'm going to have to remove this as well. So we got 3 screws here, and then we're going to have to remove the standoffs on the front. And so we got these standoffs right here. Okay, so let's pause for a moment. I need to get a proper tool for that. We need to remove these standoffs right here. And for that, you're going to need a 3/16 socket to remove that. Okay, that felt really good. I felt it drop, and you can see it already falling out. Perfect. We'll go ahead and put the cover up. Here's a closer look at the boards. As you can see, this is the power supply board, and this is the module out. I'm going to go ahead and just unplug that, so we don't need that. Let's look at this one first. Alright, as you see, the capacitors on this board, just a visual inspection, they look fine. I don't see any bubble tops. I don't see the PVC jacket on them separating in any form or fashion. Looks pretty good. I may or may not change the caps out on this one. I'm not a big fan of these boards. Trying to unsolder from these boards are a challenge, but we just might do it anyway. Won't know until we get there. And if we look here at the power supply board, can you, as soon as I get you in, can you see the tops of those? domed, domed, and domed, and domed, and domed. So all these capacitors are bad. We have two more right here. Just visually looking at them, they look good. Oops, let me get you in camera. So we have one here and one there. I got to tell you, it's a lot harder working with these vintage old cameras doing this stuff, being operator and the talent. It's a little challenging. And then we've got another big fat capacitor here, 400 volts at 1,000 microfarads. I don't have this one in stock, so we're going to have to unfortunately leave that one in. I could probably test it in line, but it'll probably come out skewed somewhat. So the next thing we're going to do is let's fire up the soldering iron and remove those capacitors. So I thought I'd grab a shaky cam and bring you in a little closer, as I was having a hard time getting the big Panasonic camera to get close enough so you could see. So that one there looks good. These right here are all bad. Bad. And good. And good. And then the big one there appears to be good. I have the desoldering gun warming up, and I've got my iron also warming up. So let's go ahead and start removing these capacitors. And we're going to switch back over to the big camera now. Now you also notice that these capacitors here are got some silicone on it that we'll probably have to pick off. Hopefully not too much, too hard. No, that's pretty easy. Okay, I believe I got it broken free good enough. Go ahead and start with this one right here. Bring in my bionic eyeball so I can see. Alright. So this is a 220 microfarads at 25 volt. What I'm going to do is not bore you. You don't need to see me unsolder all of them. I'll go ahead and unsolder these all off the camera and put the new ones back in, and I'll bring you back in after that. And if I remember, maybe we'll check out some of these capacitors and see what they look like on the ESR meter. Okay, I've got all the capacitors replaced. I got the glue cleaned up around the areas, and all I need to do is just put that back in the monitor, and we go. I've given this board a once over, and I've decided to not replace the capacitors. They all look visually fine. I've done no electrical test to it. I'll bring you in closer here on the shaky cam so you can see the new new capacitors. I almost said computers. So that looks pretty good. I've also given this board a once over, and everything looks good. I didn't see any bad solder joints or anything like that. Didn't see any components that looked heated that needed special attention. And over here you can see the bad components. So just out of curiosity, let's go ahead and test a couple of these on the ESR meter and see what we get. For that, I will use the big camera since I need both hands, and it's a little challenging with the little camera here, the shaky cam. So first up, let me go ahead and try get a test reading off this big capacitor. It's 100 microfarad at 400 volts. Hopefully the big camera could pick this up okay. And it's saying that the V loss is at 0.9%. It's reading it at 90.55 microfarad, and my ESR is 3.5 ohm. So slightly high, nothing too terribly major. We're going to run with it, have no other choice. And again, that was in circuit. Out of circuit, it actually might show something different. Let's go ahead and try this big fat one. Actually, I had two of these. This is a 1000 microfarad at 10 volt. Not going to check them all. We'll check a few. Save time. Alright, so that's on there. Not touching. And it don't appear that you could see it that well in the camera, so I'll yell it out again. That's taken longer time than normal to read that. As you saw in the last one, it should have been right there. This is saying that the V loss is 0.0% and the capacity is at 27 picofarad, which is pretty much a capacitor. So that was almost a dead short, if not a pretty close to it. So this one here is the same, 1000 at 10 volt. And it looks like we might have the same results on this. As you can see, it's taken time for it to populate. And yes, V loss is 0.0%. Capacity is at 25 picofarad. So not good. Let's see what this guy is. Alright, I had two of these. This is 470 microfarad at 25 volt. And let's see what this one's reading at. Apologize that I can't zoom in good enough with the big camera so you could see the screen. I'm sure I could if I was to change my camera angle. And alright, so this one's coming up unknown or damaged. And I'm not shorting out. Let me just make sure my probes are on there good. And we'll do this one more time. V loss is 0.0%. Capacitance is at 25 picofarad. And again, this is a 470 ohm at 25 volt. Grab this Okay, here's a 220 at 25 volt. This will be our last one, although I only got 3 more left. Won't torture you. And I'm suspecting that this is going to be, unknown or damaged. Definitely bad capacitors. I'm feeling pretty good that this will work once we fire it up. So with that all said and done, I won't bore you with reassembling. You could use your imagination. Reassembly is going to be just as it was disassembled. You're just going backwards. That's all. So with the magic of video editing, let me do just that. Let me assemble the TV, the monitor, and we'll come back and we'll check it out. Have the monitor put all back together. Got the computer in line. Everything's all wired, ready to go. So let me go ahead and throw the big red switch back here and let's see what happens. I know you couldn't see it, but the power indicator on the computer popped up, turned on. Did not auto turn on the monitor. So let's go ahead and do that manually. And let's see if we fixed it or we blew it up. Okay, we got power indicator. Oh, there we go, look at that. And let me go ahead and turn the computer on. There we go. I think we fixed it. Well, I don't know about me. I didn't do anything. I just sat here and watched this stupid video is all I did. You did all the work. Okay. Well, that's it. Another another success. So this will end the video. I hope it wasn't too hard to watch on this old vintage camera, as it was kind of hard for me to navigate and film and all that good stuff at the same time. I'm accustomed filming with my other camera that I have a remote to do that. Ain't that a cool remote? Looks like a 1980s cell phone, huh? It's actually a remote control for my Sony stereo head unit, so kind of cool. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for coming along and watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you got something out of it, comment, and if you're not already a subscriber, do so. You will be glad you did. If you want to be notified when my videos are posted immediately, there's a bell just below the video there somewhere. Click on it. You'll be notified when my videos are pushed out. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.